Hello, everyone. Welcome to Norcast, Norcam's public podcasting, kind of or just our way of letting you know what we're doing. We haven't been here in a couple weeks. We've been meaning to do this every Friday or Monday. We'd be like, I'll look to my colleague Jason and be like, hey, we're going to do it today. And he'll just look at me like, yeah, sure. And like, in the back of his head, he knows we're not. Yeah, it's all filthy lies. So here we are. My name is Phil Healy. I'm the public access coordinator at NORCAM, and with me, as always,
Jason Smith, the government access coordinator.
And yeah, we're here actually. We're in the presence of two great ladies. One runs youth services in North Reading. The other runs her, or like in so many ways, I'd imagine. But please, Amy Luckiewicz. Hello, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming in, and sorry for all the. You're like, oh, hey, I'm here earlier. I'm like, for what? I'm like, oh yeah.
That's okay.
But Friday, that's why we do these on Friday, kind of get it out of the way. But thank you for coming too. I think it was last week we were talking about having you on.
Yeah, no problem.
And it was just a quick turnaround.
Sure.
And you really jump started the whole like, we gotta do the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. No problem.
No, it's great. It helps.
We really are doing a podcast.
Yeah, it's happening.
We committed.
Yeah, exactly. We got it out of the way in the morning. But it's so Amy, what? Please tell the audience what you do in town and what youth services is.
Sure. So I just passed my 3-year anniversary here, and it went by really fast.
Oh, wow, really? It's been 3 years?
I know.
Wow.
I know. Really
Congrats.
fast. Thanks.
Yeah.
So my title is actually Director of Youth Services.
Oh, okay.
And so I like to describe my job as a third social work, although I'm not a licensed social worker, a third youth development, and a third of my job is working with the police on drug education and prevention projects. So that's kind of how I like to describe my job. You never know what my day is going to be like. It could be playing in the gym with 7th graders. It could be 3rd grade sing-alongs. It could be teaching a safety class to 4-year-olds. So
gun safety.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, it's a new program that I love. I've been teaching it for years, and we brought it to North Reading a couple years ago, and then I didn't have a co-teacher. And it's actually about preventing child sexual abuse.
Oh, I think, you brought that up at the last CAT meeting.
I did. It's starting at a very young age. And interestingly, just yesterday, I was over at the high school, and the high school health educator, Claudia Brown, was working with her students on what they call refusal skills.
Oh, okay.
So standing up for yourself, using a confident but respectful tone to refuse anything. And I said to her, I literally just did that with my 4-year-olds yesterday.
Oh,
so
wow.
I love that it's kind of a progression. They'll be learning that skill throughout their time in North Reading.
Well, that's interesting. I think in high school, I was a subject, without me really knowing, to a class on refusal skills because I got that quite a bit. So it wasn't, it worked out.
Good practice.
Yeah, no, I was a good dummy for them. No, that's awesome. So, and we actually talked about that because I told you about... I think I sent you the program link to the Nora Shine thing they did at Aldersgate, which was great.
Yes, I'm just glad that they're getting it from all angles because it's all about the prevention and not just for the kids, but for the parents to be aware of some of the tactics that predators use. So it always comes with a parent education piece as well as we partner with the Flint Memorial Library, so that they can provide educational resources for the parents and storybooks for the kids to reinforce at home.
Oh, wow. Hope it's not a pop-up book, but then
it
that
would
be well, you never know. You could, no, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's always one of the weirder because I have nieces and nephews, and it's always just kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
Well, and growing up in the '80s, it also was kind of a boom, and like no one really liked to talk about it, and it's always
And even now, my favorite part of the curriculum is that it normalizes touching safety as one of our other safety lessons. Just like you teach kids about helmet safety, crossing the street, seatbelts, we make touching safety another safety rule in the home. Playing with fire, guns. There's actually in this curriculum 7 or 8 what they call never rules. Never play with fire, never touch a gun, that sort of stuff. And this is just one of those rules. And for the 4-year-olds, it blends it right in, and it doesn't make it any awkward. And then we practice through. This is a 5-week class, and so towards the end of it, we're actually graduating next week.
Oh, lovely.
And the police officers, the school resource officer. Sean O'Leary will come over and present the kids with their graduation certificate.
Yeah.
But in the next few days, we'll be preparing it. But next week, they're going to learn about what to do if someone breaks the touching rule. Yeah. And that's really the crux of the whole program is how we've been practicing the whole time about refusals and what to say, who to tell if something happens. And so next week, they're going to demonstrate that in front of their parents and the school resource officer.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's great. Fantastic. This is one of the cases where I applaud assimilation. Well, I guess in the case of just...
Yes.
No, but it's a good point. Like, put it into their minds and, let it kind of go. So
And
cool.
I was thrilled to see it at the high schools, all the way up through that level and starting at 4 years old. And those kids were, I think, juniors yesterday that I saw. It's great practice. You have to practice it. And you have to build the kids' confidence to be able to say no. And the interesting thing about this curriculum, too, is that we talk to the parents about saying, do you make your kids hug aunt whoever or uncle whoever? And if they say no, are they allowed to say no? And so we give them permission, the kids permission to say, I don't want to hug my grandfather today. And that's totally all right. They're the owners of their own body, so.
I don't know. I own... when I do have one, I will own them. No, that's interesting. And it's also like, that putting it in that line of education so they just empower the kids. I mean, because it pretty much is a power play.
Absolutely.
And a lot less to do with... Well, I mean, a lot more power than sexuality most of the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which a lot of people... kind of don't understand for whatever reason.
Yep.
Seems to be the hurdle.
It's black and white. It's about preventing sexual abuse for kids.
Yeah, cool.
I'll be honest about it. Yep. I mean, we talk about safety in general, but that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, no, that's awesome. We had a similar program here, just don't touch anything policy for the kids. I don't care what you do. Actually, you brought a couple groups here. For a tour, which
we'll
is
be
great.
back this summer, I'm sure.
Oh, good, yeah.
So usually I bring the middle school youth group here.
Yep.
It's a short walk over for us, and they're
Gives
always
them something to do.
They're like, this is big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get so excited
That
and
is
they see all the
adorable.
equipment, and they love your green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they enjoy it.
Yeah, when they come by, we'll do a green screen thing with
Okay.
them. Because I think, it's pretty simple to do. And
They'd really like to be put into like a video game.
oh, okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a superhero scene. They're big into that.
We can do that. We can get like a panel.
Cave or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of a way to do this. Maybe we'll have to do something fun. But they're really into trivia this year.
Okay. Oh, like talk show trivia kind of thing.
Well, we've been doing several versions of trivia, and
right.
so sometimes it's team. Sometimes like kind of like how we would play a pub style trivia.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 101, and sometimes I play a game that my dad taught high school for 40 years in Lynn.
Oh, wow.
And he used to do this trivia game like baseball. So you can ask for a single, double, triple, or home run question.
Cool.
And we play it that way too. And so we mix it up, but they're really into trivia right now.
If they wanted to do it, we could do like a little 5-minute show for
Oh,
them.
yeah. That'd be fun.
Actually, yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah. We don't get to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That seems to be
All right,
the
let's
model.
make that happen.
Yeah, cool. All right,
We'll
we
do
did
that.
it right on the podcast. It's official. Can't back out.
No, it's recorded now.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's great, actually. And it's funny because you mentioned, like, the kids really looking at it, like, oh, look at this place. What was it? We got a card from, I think, the mothers of North Reading.
Oh.
It's like a small a group of mothers in North Reading. And it was great. They had some of their kids who were very, young, like, very young.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, yeah, we're on cable. Like, okay. Like, no one tell them. But no, they were very sweet, and they thought the world of it. And that's kind of like the thing that I like doing here is just like at least showing the kids like you can take the stuff out, go for it, and feel free. Likewise.
I know one of our kids from it. I think Brett Clark was trying to do some broadcasts with you guys about one of his fantasy stories that he wrote. Was that a few years ago?
Oh, maybe.
Is this ringing a bell? I thought he was going to contact you guys to do something like that, or he
no,
wanted
no.
to learn how to do podcasting, and I'll have to redirect him back
Yeah,
there.
tell him.
Yeah.
It's mighty easy, and we'll help him set it up. And that's like, per example, here, that's where like every organization, even if you use service through youth services, if you want to podcast once a month or like, it's just
fun.
like get it out there, get the message to everyone. Because and we typically use this, Jason. What would you say we use this for typically?
Like a newsletter in place of our newsletter.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to do than sitting down writing a couple articles and
Less trees killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is they're too many. Actually, according to a couple of surveys, this is actually 10 years in the making, that there are more trees than there were when we first came over, in a lot of ways, because they planted it in various other that weren't. But don't let the hippies know. Don't let them know.
Well, so don't tell anybody. I know it's being broadcast, but nobody will tell, I'm sure. So
Yeah,
when I
no
first
one will
took over
listen.
this job, and they asked me, took over in May, and they asked me to run the community garden over near IRP.
Oh, okay.
And anything that we grew, the vegetables was going to go to the food pantry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I killed everything. I killed everything.
Oh, no.
I am not.
Do you garden?
No, I definitely do not garden. My mom over here definitely does not either.
Oh, no.
And never learned that skill. But
is that a blame? Is that what that was?
Sorry?
Was that a blame?
A little bit.
All right,
a little bit.
Sorry,
the DPW guys cleared this beautiful area for us. They fenced it in. I was like, oh, we got this.
Yeah.
You know, they tilled it, the whole thing.
Wow.
I killed everything.
My Lord.
Everything. I couldn't get over there enough to water it, I don't think.
Once a month I put
think
some
it's
water
overgrown
there,
now, but to anybody who benefited from the garden before under Erica's time and youth services, I apologize for killing your garden.
Well, hey, bring it back. I was actually thinking about that. Like,
bring it back. I still can't do it.
No?
Well, just else wants to.
What was it? There's not a collective. What am I looking for? You get a farm? Yeah, a farm collective.
The
you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the shares. Yeah. I would say try to contact them and just be like, if you want to donate any of your time for listeners, just show the kids how to do it, and we can, farming school.
If any listeners are interested in that, and I will connect you with the DPW guys and give you that area, because I loved the idea. Getting fresh produce to the food pantry, which by the way is over in Town Hall, and I'm amazed at how many people in this town use the food pantry. It's quite a resource, but I was really excited that they would get some fresh produce, and I didn't make that happen.
Well, I mean, the time, it's not over.
That's right.
But food pantry is great. We've done a good amount of work with them over the past couple of years where we brought them in. I've been talking to one of the gentlemen there who I think took Sandy's position.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, but Sandy was there and she left last year, I believe.
Yes.
Before, or at the end of the year, I think. 2014 end of the year, I think, didn't she?
You could be right, because I think she's been gone almost a full year. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh, weird. And that's another thing, because
time goes by fast in this town.
I think this is going to be my 6th year doing this, like in public access, whereas at NorCam, I think. Yeah, 2011, I believe, in June. But wow, all right. Well, that just set me back a bit. Linear time, yeah. But no. We worked with a whole bunch of people who've gone through. You're the second director.
Third.
Well, the second that I've worked with.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so there's Jenny O'Leary, and then Erica, and then myself. Yep.
Yeah. I think Rob knew Jenny. I think he came in, or I think he met her, or worked with her once or twice, but.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to see the evolution. I mean, it has evolved. The position has evolved.
Oh, yeah. We all different. I've heard we've all brought different things and different strengths, and I work, I think, more now with the police than ever. Yeah. On prevention stuff, so it's important.
Oh, and you have, with that being said, National Night Out.
Yeah.
In August. I know. What date is that?
So it's August 2nd, and this year we have a rain date.
Oh, yeah.
Just in case, Tuesday, August 9th, so the week following, and I encourage anybody to come out. It is absolutely free, 100% free. We feed you. The barbecue is crazy. We have hamburgers, hot dogs. We do a veggie burger. Yeah. And last year, I think we had... Well, last year was rained out. Sorry, the year prior, I think we had over 800 people.
Oh, wow.
So it's great. There's free raffles. We have a bounce house for kids. We do the touch-a-truck, so the motorcycles, the fire department brings in their trucks. It is a huge event, and we're so excited. So this year, we have something new.
Yeah.
We're adding an in-plain sight event. And if you remember, back in March, I guess it was, we hosted this in-plain sight event over at the police station. And what we do is we set up kind of a mock teenager's bedroom. And in this case, we had hidden about 36 red flags or actual drug paraphernalia in the room, and parents had to find them and make the connections or see if they recognize it as a red flag. And we had so much feedback from that event wishing that we would do it again. Well, it's obviously quite a process to set up and very time-consuming, and logistics have to work. But we're really happy that Parks and Rec are going to allow us to set it up on the tennis courts. So, we're going to be able to limit access, obviously, to young people. We don't want to give them ideas.
Oh, that's a good place because you can just close the gate and you just
and we're going to hang up some sheets so that you can have kind of faux walls up. I'm very excited that we're going to be doing that. The police department will help me out with that as well. So we'll have educators there, people who can ask their questions publicly or privately. Yeah. Tons of resources. This town is not immune to the drug problem.
No town is.
No town is. And so we're very happy to have resources available and go through that process. I know many of the parents that went through there weren't just parents, they were grandparents who went through as well. We had a couple of, I think maybe 2 families who went through and said, oh my God, I recognize this from so-and-so's room, and went home and had to have a discussion.
Oh, wow.
So if those 2 people got something out of it, then we're very happy. And, some things that you might recognize and some you might not, It was a great event, and so I'm really happy it's going to be at National Night Out. I suspect it's going to be one of the most popular attractions of this year's.
And it's at Ipswich River Park.
Yep.
So it's right down the road.
Free parking.
Yeah.
Can't make it any easier. Yep, it's great.
No, that's awesome. No, that's a good, and it's all about education.
Yep.
Putting it out there and letting them make those decisions. And
people are more than welcome to bring friends and family from other towns. We welcome everybody over there. So I'm hoping to have over 1,000 this year.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's good. Man, you have a whole bunch of vendors.
Tons of vendors. Yeah. Last year we had about 36 vendors. I'm hoping to have over about 40 this year.
Oh, nice.
And community resources as well. You guys are always over there. And senior center. It's literally from birth to seniors. We have information for veterans as well. And they can come and talk to people. They can come just pick up resources. They can come for the food and the raffles. Yeah. Anything they want. It's great. The little kids, my mom's job and my dad, they hand out the fire hats to the little kids.
Oh, yeah.
It's really great. So we ordered extra fire hats this year.
Oh, did you run out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, we've never run out, I don't think, Mom, right? No.
But you're just knock on wood.
Yep, but just in case, we'll have some extras because we're hoping for more people this year.
Oh, good. I think you will because I think word of mouth is pretty good. And I think because it didn't happen last year, I think people are going to be pretty... kind of psyched or amped to go to it this year.
Yeah, I hope so.
Cool.
And the rain date, so if we get rained out of that second date, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully it doesn't get rain both days. No, but that's awesome. And that was something, did you start that out, or are you in a collective group of people?
Well, so what happened was, I think somewhere in my interview, it was brought up by the chief of police, Mike Murphy. And he said, I've always kind of wanted to have this event in North Reading, but they didn't have the resources. So he's like, how about, how good are you at planning events? And I was like, I'm pretty good. I work with Rotary International a lot on events. Yeah. And so it fell into my lap, and it was literally, so I started in May, and the event was going to be in August. And so I didn't quite realize the scope of it when I said yes.
Oh, wow.
But, had a couple months to put it together along with one of the police officers, Mike McAuliffe. So he's still partnering with me, which is really great, and he gets all the law enforcement and fire guys over there.
Yeah, cool. That's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, and it's produced by the Community Impact Team, so you and I are on that together.
I am.
Yeah.
I got lobbied to be on. I think it was fair to say.
You are very important to be on there.
Oh yeah, for the books.
Oh, for the grant, but not just for that.
Yeah.
No, not just for that. I think you're a very reasonable.
No, we know you're lying.
I'm not lying. This is you're a reasonable voice, and I think one of your famous lines is, "Well, what about?" You're always thinking about what else are we not thinking about? So that's helpful to us.
Yeah, I'm a delightful jackass. That's part of my it's part of my tone. But no, I mean it's I think it's good to get the word out there, and like I had said numerous times, my job in my heart and soul is to try just to make sure kids don't die of opioids. That's pretty much.
Yep.
That's my baseline. So that's anywhere we can stop that. That's how.
We're trying. Yeah, this grant that we're talking about is for a federal drug grant called the Drug Free Communities Grant, and our committee has decided to focus on, as you know, prescription drugs and marijuana. The concept being that we also have to report on alcohol use and cigarettes. However, luckily, knock on wood again, that in this town, cigarette use is very down. Alcohol is about par for other towns, but we have to report on all that. And the idea about focusing on prescription drugs is the prevention of heroin.
Yeah.
And now we just hear about Prince, had overdosed on fentanyl, and that's in this town.
A rock star?
Yeah, believe it or not, right?
A rock star? Overdosing.
Yep.
Would have thunk it.
Yep. And so, a lot of the overdoses we're seeing in this town are from people who are everyday people that you would never suspect. Yeah. They got, a rotator cuff tear, a knee tear, ACL repair, whether they be athlete or not, just anybody is susceptible. They get a legal prescription. Mm-hmm. And, you can handle 30, but you can't handle 31 pills. Yeah. And suddenly they have an addiction. And that can quickly grow to heroin because it's easier to get and cheaper many times. And
that's kind of the crazy thing about heroin over the last 40 years, like more potent and cheap.
Yep. And, we talk to the police a lot, and almost nobody goes directly to heroin. It's almost always a progression through prescription pills. And for young people, the progression is almost always marijuana, prescription drugs, pills. Heroin.
Yeah, it seems I usually find through reading and through talking to other teachers in other towns, just raiding parents' medicine cabinets.
Yeah.
That's no matter what, it's not necessarily the marijuana thing is always just kind of the gateway thing, but that's always kind of a red herring, because you always, if people want to go to that next craziness, they're gonna gonna go.
Yeah,
exactly. It's kind of, and raiding the medicine, it's just kind of and they don't know, especially if they're in their teens, 12 to because they will 12-year-old,
It's scary.
Man. And it's nuts.
And like I said, most addictions actually start with legal prescriptions for a legitimate purpose. And, the Massachusetts just passed that bill that you cannot, any new prescription cannot have longer than a 7-day 7-day dose, which is
I think it's important.
Which is very important.
It handcuffs a lot of
the coalition advocates. We were looking to do a 3-day prescription, and the doctor said no because of the convenience partly. And I remember when my mom had her rotator cuff surgery, and I said to the doctor, we don't want all this medication in the house. And he said, I'm saving you the trip to CVS. And I'm like, you know what? I'll go to CVS a couple times. Don't worry about it. But
and he rolled his eyes like, all right.
Yeah, because they don't want to, that's going to have to more office visits and more time out. And it's scary, though. But I'm really glad Massachusetts is being progressive in this issue about specifically prescription drugs. And I think that's great. A bunch of us in North Reading sit on the district attorney's opiate task force, Mary Ryan.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, and she's doing great work about being consistent in her policies and what she advocates for, and that really helps us a lot. But I will mention, if anybody gets anything out of this, if they could think about dropping off any unused prescription drugs to the police.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's open 24/7 in the lobby. You don't need to check in. You don't even need to take your labels off. Just drop them right in, because, people don't think about their house is susceptible to break-ins if people know there's drugs in there. And also, don't put it out on social media that you're having an ACL repair. Don't put it out on social media that you're having rotator cuff surgery, which, by the way, is the exact stuff that we do put out on social media.
She's got plenty of codeine. See you guys later.
See you later. And you all know where I live.
Yeah. I would love that status. And you all know where I live.
Yeah, well, at the In Plain Sight event.
Come get some.
Yeah, for sure. And at the In Plain Sight event, I was telling adults that, and 3 people said, "Oh crap! I just did that last week. I literally put on social media on Facebook that I was having, I think one of them was an ACL tear and 2 rotator cuffs. Yeah. No, they're adults, not thinking about this, and completely innocently said, "Oh, I'm going in for my operation." Well, now guess what? I know is going to be in your house in a week.
Yeah, I mean I think there are levels of extreme to that too, because I think you can be able to say that and not necessarily have fear. I know what you mean.
Sure.
Yeah, I know. And not to say you're saying definitely you will get broken into.
Absolutely not. But
no,
raises your risk.
No, err on the side of caution.
It's about being aware.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're gonna, same thing like what they tell people on social media, try not to say when you're out of the house.
Yeah,
it's the same stuff. Just be aware and who's on your page, and is it public, is it private, all those things.
Your friend, just if you're gonna go that route of being so public, just make sure this is I have crap. I don't have anything. If you want to really grab anything from me, it's just old newspapers.
Yep.
And soiled by my my pups.
Yeah, just being aware of that there is no longer a stereotype of a drug addict. And
that's always been the problem.
And you hear kids these days, and I'm telling you,
that's the worst.
Drives me nuts, absolutely nuts.
It's a weird ageism thing.
Absolutely,
it's the same thing.
And I want to say to those people, well, you were that kid, once too. And I work over with Mary Prenny in the senior center, and she's dealing with her clients having opiate issues. And it's across the board. There's no age out for it. There is no demographic for it any longer. Yeah. In fact, I heard the other day. The number one increasing demographic for opiate users is high income, highly insured, highly educated white women. Yeah. Middle 30s.
Yeah.
Not at all what we would think.
No. Well, it's also if you're a house marm as well, and you're at home and you pretty much a glass of wine or what have you, and that's pop a pill, let's see what happens. Yeah. And then just go. Boredom is if we can eliminate boredom and despair, then I think we'll have this drug problem kicked. But I don't know.
Yeah, except for that when you start on a prescription drug that's, legal.
Yeah. Well,
like I said, innocently I hit my 30th, but on my 31st I got hooked. And what I can handle 30, you can handle 50, you can handle, 29. It's, body chemistry. There's no one way to say this is what anybody can handle. And so that's why I'm glad they put a restriction on the 7-day to...
did I ever tell you? I think I told Jason and Rob, but I had a wisdom tooth pulled and another one over.
Oh, I think you were, yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have told you. And like, the doctor gave me, he just gave me the prescription, and I'm like, it was a little bit more, and I'm like, then it was just really hurting, and I'm like, oh, can I have another? And I could have been like, I could have said. The look in his eye was kind of like I could have said anything, and he could have written me another prescription. Yeah. Wasn't a bad guy, but it just kind of was just, oh, yeah, sure. Like, it was just perfunctory. It was just kind of that thing.
And doctors want to take care of their patients. They're not the villains here, but on top of it, too, how do doctors get ranked? The question on the survey, did your doctor take care of your pain?
Yeah.
And, it all gets tied back to sometimes to insurance and what hospital will, take you. And the whole system needs to be relooked at, is asking that question about pain going to be on every survey we take? Is it that necessary? Can doctors look into more alternative forms of, they refer you more to pain treatment centers, things like that are first before, I guess, writing you that script. So they're not the bad guys here, but, and there are huge efforts in our state to educate doctors about that. So one of that part tied in with that law is that they now are mandating doctors tie into the prescription monitoring system. Whereas before it was kind of just, could you? Would you mind? And now to practice, medicine in the state, you're going to have to.
Cool. No, and there are safeguards, like a lot of, I think we've talked about just like, or Jason, I think I've thrown it back at you because I was talking about my mother-in-law earlier because I take her back and forth with certain procedures. And sometimes emergency rooms, you just have people who are there just to get the pills or something, and they're pretty hip to it. They'll be like, well, this guy comes in every day, or does whatever. Yep. So I mean, there's stuff all up and down, but I actually want to wrap it up. And Amy, anything you'd like to say in general about youth services? Where can they contact you?
So you can contact me over at Town Hall, Room 10, or you can email me is the best way to get a hold of me, or even Facebook. But it's Youth Services with an S on it, at northreadingma.gov. And I would just encourage everybody, no matter what the age, just to check out our website because you can see what we have going on for the summer. We've got an awesome whitewater rafting trip. We actually had to grow it this year to add in middle school. So I've got middle school kids going and high school kids going in August, and we're almost sold out of that. So I'm trying to add on more adventure stuff, also more leadership opportunities over the summer. And most of our programs are free. You guys pay pretty high taxes in this town, and so use it. Feel free to use it. We always, for our other programs, have financial aid. So thanks for having me.
No worries. And let's end it up. Jason, what's going on in government access? You say that while I get a power supply for this.
No, I gotta install. Let's see. Last week, we had 2 meetings. We had the school committee meeting at the little school. We also had the Board of Selectmen meeting. Going back a little further, we finally got a hold of the RMLD meeting that was missing from last summer. That's been playing on the government channel as well as now on the YouTube channel.
I think I corrupted my drive.
We also have a new one from, I think, a couple weeks ago, RMLD, that is. And then the big thing coming up for us is this Monday, I believe, is the
town meeting.
Yeah. Town meeting.
Yeah, you're going to be there too, I imagine.
I will be there. Yep. Yeah.
That's pretty much a lot of that's been going on. We've been plowing through meetings, and new shows are coming up. Residents of Pearl Street, we'll have a new one. We'll have a new one with, one of the heads of the metastatic breast cancer support group in town, which they deal with more. I think. No. Coping, but I guess area-wise, I think they deal more with most of northern Massachusetts and I forget the range, but it's a really great interview. Yeah. Very heartfelt, great woman, and we also have more inside NRPS and some other shows we'll be putting on. But yeah, it's getting up there. Oh, the
graduation.
Graduation, yes, next Friday, when some of our beloved NorCam video production kids, one Jackson Hastings, who was on the program, and Peter Ardere, and a couple others, and Ben Schufro. And I'm trying to think a couple of the others. They'll be They'll be going. They're not going to die.
No.
They're going to be
Be
graduating.
Empty nesters.
Yeah, we were.
So I've known Ben Schufro since he was little. I had
Oh,
him over
really?
when I ran the Wakefield Y.
Oh,
then he
really?
came over- so I've known him forever. Yeah.
Weird. I love that kid.
Yeah, he's a great.
He's
Kid.
great. He's
he actually
hilarious.
worked for our mentor program.
Oh,
which we
really?
didn't talk about today, but we have a mentor
Oh.
program, and he worked as a mentor.
Oh, wow. Good tie-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to rag on him for it. I'm like, you've known Amy for how long?
Yeah.
Ben?
You didn't tell us?
Well, he's
No.
gonna say Amy who?
Yeah, and I'm like, fair enough. There's a lot of Amy's around. No, he's a great kid. He's actually very funny. He wrote one of my favorite lines in one of the video days they did. But so check that out as well. Like a NorCam legend, they do a lot of that stuff. And yeah, so be in contact with us if you want to do a podcast, if you want to be on our podcast, because we're all about just letting people know what we're doing, but also letting the town know what's going on and spreading the word, because I think that's important. And yeah, so tune in next time. And this is Phil Healy, and you can contact me at. Well, actually, I'll get into Jason. You can tell your email because it's convoluted.
Jason Smith, Government Access Coordinator. You can reach me at norcamjason@gmail.com.
And I'm Phil Healy, the Public Access Coordinator. You can reach me at phil.healy.norcam@gmail.com. And you can check us out on norcam.org, our website. You can check out our streaming content on that. You can also check us out on YouTube, the NorCam one, but just type in NorCam, NORCAM. Or you can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/NorCam. And we'll see you guys later. Thank you.